Hi. Did you know that your habits are likely to slowly ruin your life and your future? Yes, I'm being fully serious. Your future is ruined if you don't take this seriously. It might not seem all that serious to you. Sure, you procrastinate, but so does everyone else. You spend hours on your phone scrolling on threads instead of getting off your butt and doing your work. You have an assignment for CS 106A programming methodology that's split into 7 parts for you, and you've only done 2 of them so far. It's due tomorrow. Internally, you're freaking out, but it's more of this sort of low-grade guilt that eats away at you for hours and hours, and you keep telling yourself that you want to do the assignment, but you just can't do it. This happens to everyone at some point, but sometimes in some people, this happens every single time they try to do an assignment or study for an exam. It doesn't just have to include scrolling on their phone either. It could be doing literally anything from drawing to building a house out of a stack of cards to reading Wikipedia articles for 3 hours straight. Anything but doing your biology homework. When this happens to an excess, this can result in a loss of opportunities. It can prevent someone from turning in their work on time, lowering their grades. Maybe your GPA goes down and it prevents you from getting into the programs that you want. If you're putting off doing things for so long that you take hours to start things, you might experience sleep deprivation as you try to make up your work, which can lead to even worse performance, contributing to this never-ending cycle of doom. Now, if this sounds like you might be experiencing something called executive dysfunction. Executive dysfunction is a term used to describe weaknesses in the cognitive process that organizes thoughts and activities, prioritizes tasks, manages time efficiently, and makes decisions. Therefore, people who experience it have trouble with organizing themselves, tasks, materials, and life in general. Executive dysfunction is often associated with conditions like ADHD, but you do not have to have ADHD to experience it. Executive function is not something people are born with. The prefrontal cortex is the part of the brain that handles executive function and does not finish developing until a person is well into adulthood. A person's natural tendency to executive dysfunction is often determined by genetics. However, it is entirely possible that it goes unnoticed until later on when demands increase. Therefore, for college students, it is important to understand that the transition to college may have an impact on the pervasiveness and severity of any existing executive functioning difficulties, since the expectations placed on you are now higher. To manage executive dysfunction, you could try making all of the information needed to complete all your tasks external, by making a to-do list on paper or using apps like Todoist to keep track of deadlines. Timers are also quite helpful for keeping track of time and maintaining motivation. For example, if you decide you're going to work on a task for 5 minutes, having a timer that you can look at helps keep you accountable and motivated, since it will feel like you're making progress. 5 minutes is an awfully short amount of time for studying, but sometimes when you have executive dysfunction, you can barely get yourself to start a task at all. So much so that even working for 30 seconds would be a massive win for you. Therefore, a strategy is to break tasks down into time intervals that are so ridiculously small that it feels incredibly easy to start. Once that short amount of time is up, it's likely that you'll feel a sense of momentum and continue working anyway. If you do several of these short study sessions a day, you could get hours of studying done in really short bursts that don't feel so awful in the moment. Another way to help with executive dysfunction is to be accountable to others in any way that reinforces accomplishing goals, like with an accountability partner or accountability group. You'll likely feel more inclined to keep going if your partners have their own momentum going, as it's almost contagious and will help you stay productive. Sometimes executive function doesn't come naturally to all of us, and that's okay. Using strategies to lighten the immediate load and overwhelm can help mitigate the effects of executive dysfunction and help you stay motivated in getting your work done. It's okay if you decide that today all you can do is 1 part of your 7-part CS 106A assignment. Maybe you'll have enough momentum and you'll decide I'll keep working, and you'll end up finishing the whole assignment. And maybe you won't. But anything that helps you get off of threads and make progress towards your academic goals is meaningful, even if it doesn't look like everyone else's methods of doing so. I want to leave you with this. Think about the next assignment that you have due, and think about any part of that assignment that will only take you 5 minutes. For programming, maybe that looks like writing just 5 lines of code. For English, maybe writing a couple sentences. For math, maybe it's doing 2 problems in a set. Then I want you to set a timer for 5 minutes and just try. If you still feel like it's too much to keep going and you don't have enough momentum to do so, that's okay. But at least you made some progress, and I'm proud of you for it. That's all I've got. Thank you.